welcome back. So we got done with the gym. Big thanks to my trainer there. I really appreciate it. We click very well, so that's definitely awesome. It's something that I was worried about for a long time with going back to the gym, because I know how to lift. I'm not coordinated. Putting things together is like, yeah, okay. So what works well with what muscle group? Because I'm not good with that. Anyway, it was a very unexpected but awesome time just being able to talk after the workout. So just big shout out there, much appreciated. The thing is, there's a video that I wanted to talk about for a very long time that I just struggled with, that I think I got now, that I'll try. Trauma or training. People hold on to things very dearly when they're handed down to them in the family, you know? This coin, this knife, these pictures, they were passed down to the family, so this means something. And then you've got people holding it on because, hey, they were my battle buddies when I was overseas, when I was downrange. And love them or hate them, they're still part of your family in that sense. Or for others, it's basically this situation defined who I am. You could go realistic, you could go comic books. You know, Batman. He became Batman because his parents were killed in front of him in the alleyway, and it defined who he was once he was able to get back onto his feet and, you know, connect a few dots here and there. So, in real life, well, I would rather not use personal examples, but I do want to say that trauma very much can define people, and it could give them what they care about. I want to say Jordan Erickson, what was her name? She was paralyzed from the waist down, and part of her story, her testimony, was tied to what happened to her with her diving accident. I'm not good with names, and I'm not good with numbers. Oh, man. I try. I know some things. Putting them together is a different story altogether. But, yeah, that's basically the core concept there is what do you hold on to and why? Why does it matter to you? And if you don't have something, you need to figure that out so you can live your life unimpeded. Live your best life is one way to go about it. But knowing yourself, who you are, good and bad, being able to be uninhibited so you can just move, live, and be who you are. Not just constantly be held back by fear, by loss. All of that. Like I said, there was some really good topics that me and the gym trainer ended up talking about. It was just awesome. Very much needed. This stuff is just not talked about. I mean, either because you didn't have both sets of parents growing up, or the fact that people in the church never told you this stuff. You know, this matters. Like, to an extent, you matter. Just don't get an overinflated sense of ego like the world revolves around you. That's not the case. And also, let me point this out too. If you were ever given one way to go about business, you're only ever going to go about that one way. There could be better ways. There could be healthier ways. It's like lifting weights wrong. Sure, it's going to do something, but it's just, you know, doing it the right way is going to make it be a lot better. I got some measurements taken this morning, so there's definitely some improvement there, and I'm definitely thankful. Needed to lose some of the extra pounds and stuff, and hearing that is definitely good, because 2 months ago, it's nice seeing progress within the past 2 months. I'll just say that much. Overall, progress can take a very funny turn, because sometimes it's about the training and sometimes it's about the recovery. You know, things break, they change, they something happens and you become a different person a couple months later. Again, trauma or training. And the thing is, even if you don't do any training, but you've been through a lot. You've overcome a lot. What lies behind you is something you can be proud of. You're not the same person you're not the same person then as you are now. So in a sense, it's like, sure, you're never going to measure up to people's standards as far as like who you may be compared to them, but you can still be who you are. I say that because I've talked to other men who just be like, dude, you're shit, you're nothing. You're not even a real man. I'm just like, what, your definition of man? Okay, cool. Guess what? I know things, I say things, and it resonates. And like the last video, I will never be an echo chamber ever. God, no. I mean that both sense too. As in, God, no, and God, no. No disrespect either. But then again, I was angry at God for a long time. And you know what? That's a safe being to be angry at if you believe in God. Because here's the thing, he's not going to be like a person who is going to be very much emotional. Like, God and emotions, they don't go hand in hand. You can say things, but as long as you're realistic, you're being who you are. You're not trying to cover it up and trying to like lie and deceive. You're just basically like, that hurts. I hate you. Why did you do that? In a sense, God is going to, he's going to, what's the word? Appreciate your sincerity. Because you're not trying to lie, you're trying to be yourself. That ties in with the previous video I did about being unapologetically yourself, and I will pretty much talk about that before ending, because guess what? That's needed, and that's also not talked about. That was something else that we talked about. Me and the gym trainer. I love the guy. He's awesome, by the way. It's funny how we like work well. We work well. That's one way of putting it. It's more like he tells me, I respond, and it's funny. It's almost funny in the sense where like he'll ask how I'm doing, how I'm feeling afterwards. I'm just like, I'm still stuck on the last one. Oh man, dude, I do not process feelings very well at times. I just like shut down. Oh boy. So yeah, unapologetically yourself. Maybe I'll dedicate a video that's by itself, but ultimately I want to say young men growing up not knowing who they are, always afraid to break the ice, afraid to rock the boat, afraid to offend, to step on toes, because God knows they're gonna get angry if I do that. Yeah, okay, so what? The thing is, there comes a point where it's just like you're tired of it. You're like, I'm done. So what do? You learn to value yourself. You learn to value yourself. Self-validation, as in, I am this, not what other people say. And the third thing is finding healthy examples. You know, if you're a male, it's going to look different than females. Now, granted, fathers are on the decrease. So, having a mentor, maybe? Mentorship is also on the decrease because there's a very real gap between the younger and the older generation. And honestly, I don't think that's designed on purpose. I think it is a result of what's happening the past couple of years. And there's a friend, his username, Mate? Don't ask me how to pronounce it. Talking with him literally a couple hours ago, and the guy is... his child support went up to nearly $1,000 per month. Just painful, brutal. The point I'm trying to say is, when guys check out, they self-delete and all that, you're not leaving much behind for your kid. In this case, his wife or ex-wife, since he's going through a divorce, is trying to kick him out of his daughter's life, and she's already hooked up with another guy. So it's like, you got kids growing up without adults, and you got people growing up with lies, and it's basically, people are growing up poisoned. Poison on soda or poison on lies by your man-hating mother-in-law or mother. I mean, realistically, a father is kicked out of quite a bit of places, including lives. Jeez, it's sad. I mean, not going down that road. There's so much needed conversations and stuff that just simply don't take place. And it's painful. It's painful to see that. It's painful to hear that. And it's painful not to be able to do anything about it. Just sitting there just sitting there. I mean, I try to put out videos, sure. I will be looking for support so I can get more of an audience and spread this out. Because the thing is, this stuff matters. Even if I'm bad or I make mistakes, that's not really... That's small. The content is what matters. The lessons are what matters. And sometimes the personal ones as well. Relatable or not, they do need to be heard. Which also explains why the censorship is brutal at times, because it's more than just simply not fitting the narrative. You're exposing something that should not be exposed, quote unquote. And I will end on this note. Outside of the whole learning to be unapologetically yourself, it kind of hit me as a realization with the way church is set up as an organization, as a corporation. Those on the outside are handpicked. They're basically how do I put it? Maybe pre-selected is a better word. Pre-selected and then put through the hoops to see if they have what it takes in order to take over for the previous leadership. Because guys on the outside like myself, nothing. I've tried. Part of me just says I want to walk away from the church because I got nothing. People treat me like I'm a number. I show up to church and then I leave when I'm done. And I'm like, where's the conversation? Where's the men? Where's the value? Where's the investment? It's just simply a high and a buy. Shit. I feel like I could get more of a welcome reception by paying an escort. That's sad. It's sad that I get more company from an escort than I do at the church. And it doesn't matter because I've been to quite a few. Ugh, I hate saying that. I'm trying to make a comparison anyway. Anyway, healthy touching, needing that ties in with a lot. And some people go to escorts because they need to get hugged. Sad, right? There's a lot of things that are sad because guess what? They're not here. They're not available. And there's shit that matters. And yet, the political correctness, the whole easily offended atmosphere, a lot of it keeps things from getting through. Now, I've always been real, but I've always been professional. Or at least I try to be professional. Sometimes it's like you have to get the real message out. You kind of need to use big boy language. Real language. Not just simply softer tone and the type of words that will not offend anyone. Yeah. Anyway, wish you all the best. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you learned something, and by all means, pass this on to the next couple of people you see or talk to, because this matters. A lot of the stuff that I've shared here, if it's not personal, it was passed on to me, and I realized the need for it, so I pass it on as well. All right, until next time.